Listen to this. I've got 3 massive stories for you today, and trust me, the last one is the one you absolutely can't miss. From questions over Balikwisha's start at Celtic, to Peter Grant stepping in to defend a record signing, and finally Chris Sutton tearing into Chris Boyd in spectacular fashion. You'll want to stick with me right until the end for that one. Massive thanks to you for helping us smash 1,000 subscribers, but that's just the start. With more than 2,000 views on every story, if you hit subscribe right now, we'll fly past 1,500 subscribers, all backing the Celtic. Let's prove once again that our support is miles beyond anything the Rangers could ever muster. We have 6 news a day to keep you updated with the mighty Celtic. Hit that subscribe button and be part of it. You saw it yourself, didn't you? Michel-Ange Balikwisha stepping onto the Parkhead pitch for the first time in front of you, and instead of grabbing the game by the throat like any winger in the hoops should, the lad looked like he was allergic to a one-on-one. Can you even believe it? Dylan McGouch said it best. It's unbelievable. Not because he's skinning defenders left and right, but because he's not even trying. Ball at his feet, the camera on him, Paradise roaring for a bit of magic, and what does he do? A wee pass back like he's spooked by the moment. Now I get it. His first taste of it was that cauldron at Ibrox, thrown straight into the lion's den after barely unpacking his bags. Anyone would look shaky in that cesspit across the city, but this was Parkhead, this was home. And still, he looked like a man trying to hide rather than a man trying to shine. You and I both know that when you wear these colors, especially as a winger, you don't pass responsibility back. You drive forward, you take your man on, you make defenders doubt their very careers. Compare that to Two Necktie, a boy who came in at the same time, but looks like he actually wants it, like he knows what it means to entertain under the lights in paradise. And that's the danger for Balikwisha. First impressions matter, and right now the first impression is that he doesn't fancy it. You can survive being raw, you can survive being inconsistent, but you can't survive looking timid. Not here, not in Glasgow, not when you're meant to terrify fullbacks, not patter about like you're playing five-a-side in the park. But let's be fair, it's still early days. He's 24, not a kid anymore. But sometimes you need a spark, a moment that wakes you up and tells you, this is Celtic, this is the big time, he's got talent, otherwise Rodgers wouldn't have signed him, but talent means nothing if you're too scared to use it. Just ask the lot from Govan. They've had squads full of boys hiding in big games for years, and look how that ends. Tears on Sucky Hall Street. So here's the question, and I'll put it straight to you. Do you think Balikwisha deserves more time to prove himself, or is it already clear he doesn't have the fire to make it at Celtic? Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's jai it, Laldi, till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic dafts. Arne Engels, 11 million quid on his head, and every time he pulls on the hoops, there's a whisper in the stands about whether he's worth it. Let me tell you this, it's not Engels who put that price tag on himself. He didn't stroll into Rodgers' office saying, Gaffer, I'm worth more than the GDP of half the Highlands. The lad was brought in because he'd shown flashes in Germany, and because Rodgers saw a midfielder with quality, not a number on a spreadsheet. Now, I know you've maybe been scratching your head, same as me, wondering why Engels has looked quiet this season. That game against Hibs, he finally gets the nod to start, and instead of bossing the midfield, he's floating about like a ghost, passing sideways, never really stamping his authority. And in this team, when Cal Mac's beside you running the show and Hatate's pinging passes for fun, you can't afford to vanish. Not in paradise, not when the expectations sky high. But Peter Grant came out and defended the lad, and he's right in a way. Forget the price tag, because football down south has wrecked all perspective. You've got second-choice defenders at some mid-table English sides going for 25 million, and you wouldn't recognize them if they were sitting across from you in Greg's. Engels is a talented boy. We've seen glimpses, those late runs into the box, the driving passes, that energy when he's actually switched on. The problem is consistency. He's got to deliver it every week, not just in flashes, or else he'll become the next big money what if that Celtic can't afford. And here's the rub. Rodgers isn't short of options in the middle. You've got Nygren stealing minutes, Bernardo proving again and again that he's got class, McCowan making a claim for more starts, and Kalmak, well, he's untouchable. So where does Engels fit in? He's fighting for scraps right now, and if he doesn't show he's more than a fancy signing with a hefty fee, he's going to find himself watching from the bench more often than not. I'll tell you one thing though, if he clicks, if he finds that spark, he could be a game changer. He's got the tools, but has he got the mentality to thrive under the pressure of paradise? That's the £1 million question, or should I say the £11 million question. So here's what I want to know from you. Should I cut Engels some slack and give him time? Or is it fair to expect a record signing to deliver right now? No excuses. Hit that subscribe button, lads. Let's jay it loudly till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic daffs. Here we go again. Chris Boyd opening his mouth and letting the wind rattle through. Honestly, I don't know what's louder, the traffic on Sucky Hall Street on a Saturday night or Boyd's nonsense when he starts talking about Celtic. The man just can't help himself, can he? Any chance to stir the pot, throw a wee grenade into the Parkhead dressing room from a distance, and he grabs it like it's the last pie in Ibrox at halftime. This time, he's been at it on that warm-up podcast, talking about Brendan Rodgers and contracts like he's sitting in the boardroom at Celtic Park. According to him, Brendan's had something on the table, and it's all come to a head. Honestly, Boyd wouldn't know what was on the table unless it was a pint and a plate of chips. Chris Sutton, fair play to him, wasn't having any of it. Straight out, told Boyd he was making stuff up, and he's spot on. Look, Rodgers has been crystal clear. No new contract has been offered. End of story. The deal he's on runs until the summer, and that's the reality. Yet Boyd and Naismith sit there trying to paint this picture of chaos as if the club's hanging by a thread. There's been protests. The atmosphere's been tense at times, but that's because Celtic supporters demand standards. We don't settle for mediocrity. Unlike the other side of Glasgow, we don't throw a party for finishing second and blame referees for everything under the sun. What Sutton nailed and what Boyd couldn't handle is that January's the real key. Rodgers knows it, the support knows it, and anyone with half a brain knows it. It's about recruitment, it's about depth, and it's about making sure Celtic have the firepower to go all the way in every competition. Until then, Boyd's speculation is nothing but hot air, but I'll tell you what, it's always the same with him, isn't it? The obsession runs deep. He can't stop talking about Celtic even when his own mob are in bits. Maybe that's the best part. And when Boyd's frothing away on the telly, it usually means we're still living rent-free in his head. So here's the question for you. Do you think Rodgers should be given a new contract right now to shut Boyd up once and for all, or should the board wait until the summer to see how the season plays out? Hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's jay it laldi till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic dafts.